Hi, everybody, and welcome to day 96 of the 100 Days Python Programming Challenge. 4 days to go. 4 days to go. And today we'll continue with the SQLAlchemy that we started yesterday. Today we'll implement user authentication with Flask and SQLAlchemy. You will learn how to build functional sign-up and login form with CSS styling and enabling user registration and authentication while maintaining a clean and professional project structure. It's day 96. 4 more days to go. Welcome back, and it is day 96. It's day 96. I'm going to cry. Well, not really. I'm excited. Yesterday, we talked about how to create our SQLAlchemy table. And then I showed you how you can view the database table by using the SQL Lite viewer. So we're able to view our table. And then today I said we'll go a step further to create a sign up form, a login form, and a dashboard so we can actually see the database at work. So we will be updating the same file we used yesterday. We're going to be updating it. I'll create template and CSS code, and then let's see it at work. So first, let me create my folder that would hold my CSS. So I'll have my static folder, and then in my static folder, I want to have my styles.css, and then I want to also have my template. So let's have my template. Let me bring it out. Yeah, and then in my template, where is it? I would have my signup.html. Then I would also have login.html. And you can also create a base.html. Remember the video where we talked about template inheritance. If you want to use the extend, if you want to create a main template and reuse it in your other templates, you can create the base.html template. So now back to our app.py. Since we already have all these templates, we would have to import. We'll have to import the render template, session, flash messages, because now we're dealing with login and sign up forms. We have to show messages to our user that their process was either successful or a failure. So let's import them all. So we have request, render template, redirect, URL for, and session. The next thing that I want to do is to have my secret key. Since I'm using the secret key for sessions and flashes, we've used secret key multiple times. You can check out our previous video to get an understanding of the secret key. So I'm going to have a function that enables my user to sign up, a function that enables my user to log in, and also a function that to log out, and also a function to view the dashboard. So let's have our sign up function. Here we already have our app.route, that is for our home. So let's have our sign up. And we've worked with sign up a lot in our Flask tutorial. So we're using both the get and the post. So I would have my function, I would have dev sign up. And then in my dev.signup, and in my dev sign up, if the request is post, I want to get the username, I want to get the email, I want to get the password. And then I want to also have basic validation. We've talked about validation when dealing with forms. So, and if all the entries are not filled, I want to flash a message that all the fields are required, and then I want to redirect to the sign up page. So still stay on the page, redirect to sign up page, and show a message that all the fields are required. So my user knows that they have to fill the username, per email, and password. So that's basically what we have. So if the request is post, I want to get the username, the email, and the password. And basic validation, if not username or not email or not password, I want to flash that all fields are required. Oh, let's import Flash. Okay, and then we got rid of the headline. So all fields are required, and then this is a class error, and then I want to redirect URL for sign up. We spoke about URL for and redirect on the 893, I believe. So then I want to check if the user already exists. It's possible that you've created an account on the page and you did not remember that, or you created an account and you're trying to create an account again. So I want to be able to check, does the username exist? Does it exist before? And then I want to flash a message that the username, the email address already exists. So these are checks. I've always talked about checks that you have to put in place when you're getting information, when you're getting data from your user. So if the username already exists or if the email already exists, I want to show a message that username or email already exists. So I'm using the user.query.filter because I'm filtering user if the username is equal to username or if the email is equal to email. And then if there's an existing user, I want to flash that the username or email is already taken, class error, and still redirect to the sign up page. But then if it's a new user, remember this is the user database table that we are calling. So if it's a new user, I will then call on that, and then my username would then be username. So username would be equal to the username that I get here. Email, don't be confused because they are like the same name. You can rename it, but just know that the username would be equal to this. We say has to be this, would then be equals to this. Email is equal to email, and password is equal to password. So this is how I'm creating a new user in my database. So it's as simple as this. And then we have our database session. We've worked on session. Add, what are we adding? We're adding new user and database session dot commit. So I also want to flash a message that, it's your account creation is successful, and then redirect to our login page. But if you're building like a production, you're designing a web application, you might want to add that the user, after the sign up, they'll get an email to confirm their email address, and if they click on the link in the email, then they are prompted to the login page. But we're not doing that in this tutorial. We might do that later. So let's flash a message that the sign up has been successful, and then that now they can log in. So sign up successful, please log in, and the class is success. And then we're redirecting to the login that we would create shortly. So what template do we want to show? We have our login and our sign up. We want to render our sign up.html. And this is our sign up function. We're using the get to display the sign up form, that is the signup.html, and we're using the post to process form data to check if they are duplicate, and also we're using it to create new users. So since we already have the sign up, we need to have another function for our login. So we have our app.route is login, and the method is still going to be get and post. And then what are we going to do? It's kind of similar to what we did with at the beginning of the sign up. We want to get the username and password. And if they don't enter, if they enter just username and not password, I want to flash an error that please enter both your username and password, and then redirect, stay on the login. And then I will now have to look into my database to see that does this person exist. And if the person does exist, then I want to print out a message, flash a message that login has been successful. But if the person doesn't exist, or if the password is not equal to the password, I want to print out that it is an invalid credential, and then the person can try to log in again with their correct password. It's a whole process, but it is stuff that has to be done when you're dealing with login. So I'm getting the username and password from when my user fills it in the login form. And if they don't fill everything, I want to flash a message that please enter both username and password, and still redirect to the login page. And I'm looking up for my user. I'm using the user. User is what? The table, the user model, our database table. And then I'm querying and I'm filtering by the username. username, what the field here. I'm filtering by my column in my database to see if I have any similarities, if I have the same username, because then they're trying to log in. And then if I do have that, and then the user password, that is the password in my database and the password that was filled in. If they are the same, I take note, put it in session, their ID and their username, and then I flash that login is successful. And then I go to my dashboard. I need the username because I want to display information on my dashboard. So that's why I'm getting it here. And if it's not so, I want to print flash an invalid credential and still stay redirect to the login page. And finally, I'm rendering my login.html. So now my dashboard. So the user ID that I got here, user.id, I will then check if it is not in, I'll check if it's not in a session. Like if a user goes to a dashboard, but they have not yet logged in, then I want to flash a message that, oh, please log in. But if they actually did log in, if I check and I see that there's a user ID in my session, then I want to return a message with their username that I got when they logged in, and then say you are logged in. Just print out like a nice message that you are logged in. I hope with this you're getting the idea of sessions. And session is temporary, database is permanent until somebody goes and deletes it. So we have, if user ID when they were logged in. If it is not in session, that means nobody has logged in, and we have to flash a message that please log in first, and then return the redirect URL for to log in. But if we check and there's a user ID in our session, remember that our user ID is our primary key, and it cannot be none. Everything here cannot be none because we put not able to true to false, sorry, not able to false. So it cannot be none. And finally, I want to return welcomes and then the session username, and then you are logged in. So I do not have an HTML file for my dashboard. That's why I just have this. But you can decide to have HTML file for your dashboard and also print out more information about your user. So then finally, we want to have a logout. Logout just means that we want to clear the sessions. We want to remove the session ID from our session. So I'll just print out a message or flash a message that you have been logged out and still redirect to the login in case the user wants to log in. So that is just session.clear, and you have been logged out, and that's just what we have to do. So sign up, we're able to display the sign up form, and we're able to process form data, check for duplicates, create user. For the login, we're able to show the login form, validate the user credentials, and we're able to store the user info in the session. And then the dashboard is a protected route that requires the user to be logged in. Before they can see the dashboard, they have to be logged in. So that's how it checks the session that is their user ID in our session. If there's no user ID, then it redirects to the login and flash a message that you have to be logged in first. And then we had our logout that just clears the session and redirects to the login page. So now let's create our CSV file. So we have our style.css, not CSV. And then I'll just put like basic styles, the body, the container, H1. I will not go into details about CSS, but this is just a basic style for my CSS. And next, let's create our login and our sign up. Let's start with sign up first. So our sign up will just have, we know we have to display our flashed message. So we'll put that, and then we would have our form. Then we'll have the input for username, email, and password. And then a button for the user to submit. And I'm also linking my CSS to my sign up. So say we just have our sign up, and then this displays our flash message. This is our form, and then we just have username, email, and password, and then a sign up button. The next thing that I'll do is my login.html. So this is my login, is just the username, the password, and a login button. And that's just all I have. And then let's run this, the time you have been waiting for. Let's run it. So this is what we have on our home page. We just have like, oh, it's now day 2, but since we're using code for day 1, so we have our user table created. So let me go to the app.py so I can see all the URLs. So the first one that we will go to is the sign up page. So let's go to the sign up and we'll see our form. Oh, our form looks nice. Okay, so this is my username, this is the email address, and this is the password. And I'll now click on sign up. And you see sign up successful, please log in. It then goes to our login page. But let's check our database. Let's see if the entry is actually in our database. So I go to mydatabase.db and we see I just had to refresh it. There's this icon here to refresh it, and we see this is the ID, this is our username, this is the email, and this is the password. Although if you're storing data in your database, you do not put the password directly in your database. There's something called hashed password. That is what you put, not the user password, because the user password is supposed to be known only by the user. So do not put the password in your database table. So next thing, let's log in. And then when I click on login, you see that welcome Fumi, you are logged in. So this is how I've been able to log in. And this, you see, it goes to my dashboard. But then since we didn't have a dashboard.html, so it just returned the message. And it's it first checked the session ID and then it took the name, and then that's why we have the message. But first, let's try. Let me log out. So I've been logged out. And then if I go to the dashboard, so now there's nothing in the session. You say, please logged in first, because it did not find an ID in our session. And if I try to log in, please enter both username and password. So you have to enter everything. If I just try to put, you see, no. But what if I now try to log in with the wrong password, because username? And then when I click on login, you see invalid credentials. So these are all the great checks that we put in place, and we have our data in our database. So let me know if you try this. On day 1, I showed you how you create your database using the SQLAlchemy, how you view your DB file using the SQLite viewer. If you're not able to view your database like this, remember that you have to go to your extensions and you have to install the SQLite viewer, and then it looks kind of nice like this. And today we spoke about how to create a sign up and login. And again, reminder that this password is stored in plain text, but then you have to use password hashing to hash the password before saving it into a database. And then we also had a user friendly sign up and login page. So it's day 95. And I was 95 or 96, I forgot. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching the tutorial. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you have any questions. The link to the code is in the description to my GitHub. Download it, try it out, and let me know if you have any question. See you tomorrow.